So, a couple of things got dropped. In particular, Nintendo had a pretty hot week with their
They did.
announcements. Dropped a couple of very important things. Looks like they're going to have one hell of a quarter four. So, October 8th, Metroid Dread finally exists. And
I really appreciate how they went. It's coming out real soon. It's
yes,
been dead for 10 years, and
more.
it'll almost be here.
Mm-hmm. Dread is one of those ones where, again, we're so far from the point of me even making the jokes back in the day that, like, it's now just a distant, like, I can't believe someone even remembered me bringing it up, to be perfectly honest. But that was a fucking head explosion, what they're doing it moment. And not just like we're making a new Metroid, but we're actually going back to that idea and using it again. It's great because I know that to you these are the Lords of Shadow boys.
Mm-hmm.
But Samus Returns was good, and I was very happy with that game. And so them taking over here is totally fine. Very excited for that.
I feel like I should probably explain that a little bit more because some folks felt like I was trying to rain on their parade, and I really wasn't. It's like MercurySteam made a bunch of shitty Castlevania games, like a bunch of them.
Mm.
Those two, like Lords of Shadow 2 is like atrocious, and Mirror of Fate is pretty bad. So and since I'm not a big Metroid fan outside of Prime, I didn't play Samus Returns.
Mm-hmm.
So my initial reaction was, "Oh God,
Yeah.
oh no!" And then I hear they made a good one, but it was a remake, and I'm like,
I mean, if Naughty Dog announced their next fighting game,
yeah,
I wouldn't be terribly excited for the return of Way of the Warrior. You know, like this is what we're dealing with. It's I get it, but as someone who
can
didn't,
you hold that thought? I got a sleeping woman and a crying dog that's got to go.
yes. So, I was saying that it's weird because based on interests, MercurySteam is one company to you, and a completely different company to me. Just
Well, the other thing is like the way that my brain put it together was that like Castlevania and Metroid share so much DNA, and
yes, but in execution, Castlevania seems a bit like. I think the first one was involved with Kojima, right? And then
he was a producer
or
on
something,
it, which
but ultimately Konami just let them do their thing. Whereas Nintendo's projects are way more. Well, we all remember the story of he's upset. He's very upset. Shiggy screaming down Retro Studios with Metroid Prime. So they're really more hands-on about it. And if that's how Metroid Samus Returns was developed, I mean, I don't know, but they're probably not going to be as tight as that on Castlevania, and maybe that affected the results. I don't know, spitballing random shit, but it was good.
If people told me that Samus Returns was a remake, but it was mostly a new game, and that it was excellent, well, if that's the case, then it looks like they found their specific calling, and Dread will probably
There's
be
gotta
pretty good.
there's gotta be other companies out there that have a catalog where they do two different genres, and one genre they're terrible at, but the other one they crush.
Double Helix made Silent Hill Homecoming.
Any others?
That's the one that always hits my brain because
not Downpour?
Homecoming is like Team Vatra made Downpour, and
Okay,
I don't know
okay.
if they made anything else.
Like, yeah. You need like I'd need it to be more than one. You know. Um.
Who made the Green Lantern movie game? Somebody just yelled that out, and I do remember that
Oh
actually went
God.
somewhere.
That
Somebody made that.
I would guess Brash, but probably not. Some
Uh,
fucking rented quick pump
Rise of
and
the
dump.
Manhunters was by Double Helix. So there you go.
Oh wow. Okay. Sometimes you take the IP game and you get a paycheck, guns for hire, as Platinum says, and sometimes you make the thing you care about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's just it's a slice right down the middle there. .mu is in the middle of their redemption arc. This is
Oh
true.
boy, so
But
they've come a long way from just guaranteed trash.
but admittedly, .mu was just it was whatever they were putting out was not great. Into now, most of it is pretty solid. So it wasn't a dual faced weird, like two realities for two audiences kind of thing, which is kind of what I'm looking for, you know. Yeah. Well, anyway, Dread is it's not only is it back, but they actually managed to capitalize on the original reason that the game exists. The first version of the game was going to exist is because in Metroid Fusion, the SAX was like a cool part of that game where it was like involved in certain segments where it's like hunting Samus type of thing, and yeah, they wanted to make a game that is all about that vibe instead of just a couple of scripted moments. The whole like you're constantly being hunted thing, and I mean, I guess like Resident Evil 2 would be a good indicator of that type of system if anyone was taking a look, but they didn't. So at the time, this was going to be a novel concept for the Metroid formula, and then they couldn't get the technology to really make it work. And apparently, make it work meant they couldn't. It didn't feel threatening in a 2D on a 2D plane or with the limitations they had at the time. And I could see that, and they said they didn't want it to be a horror game. They still wanted it to be sci-fi, but they wanted it to, give you a sense of fear, a sense of dread. Like, and that was that sense that was absolutely like clear when you play Fusion and you look at some of the things they do in that, some of the music cues, some of the ways they have the steps of the SAX like loudly kind of haunting coming down a hallway. They want to go with that space horror like at least flavor. And the nightmare, the nightmare boss is another example of like, oh, this weird thing that you have to fight for a while. When it finally cracks open, you see some ghoulish organic goop inside of its guts. They kind of wanted to turn Metroid into a little more alien, right? A little more of where the source material is inspired by. So Dread, with the idea of Samus being hunted. Now they're just going to do it in this form, and they're keeping the ideas around of like the Emmys that are going to track you down. And from taking a look at it, it looks like you also have the next version of the suit, which I was always wondering because like canonically, Fusion ends and she's stuck in the Fusion suit, or at the very least, she's stuck with a bioorganic version of her suit, and that she can't really take off. And it seems like they're kind of going for a hybrid now, where she has a various suit, but it has trimmings of the Fusion suit that are going to be like somewhat organic in nature on top of the tech.
Probably the most interesting thing that I saw was that the Metroid series is about somebody using technology to take out bioorganic freaks that like disastrous parasites and alien species, yada yada. And in Fusion, the SAX takes your shit and you get the Fusion suit, which is nearly entirely bioorganic. And so then it makes sense that in Dread, Samus is the
The organic thing.
bioorganic freak. So
And the clean robots are coming to exterminate you.
yeah. So it makes sense that the enemy force would be hyper clean lab, like
Sterile.
pearlescent, sterile robots.
Yeah, yeah. And you get to touch the mini mother brains to get a short burst of Omega Beam, which is a nice little touch there too. The thing the final shot you get. Yeah, man. I mean, fuck it. They dropped the title, and before the title dropped, they put Metroid 5 on it. It said like the words are there, you know.
Couldn't be more overt.
Well, that's what I always appreciated the balls on. Like, same thing for Fusion. When you boot up Fusion for the first time, it says Metroid 4 and then Metroid Fusion. So it's like, no messing around here, no side titles, no spin-offs, no Gaiden. This is the next game in the series. You know? I like that. I like the you know, this is the number. We're not fucking around. Yeah. Looks super cool. Looks great. Can't wait. And I can't wait to see what like ultimately like playing through Samus Returns was great, but playing through it on full screen on a proper, you know, television with controls and everything is what I've been waiting for, you know, cuz
Is there no way to do so with Samus Returns other than illicit methodology?
Samus in side-scrolling format has been a portable, locked thing for decades now. Samus console has been first-person only. So I'm very happy for a return to side-scrolling on a television, you know? And Fusion's great. Zero Mission's great. I have nothing to complain there, but it just, the format was handheld only, you know?
I should really give Super Metroid another shot.
It'll only take you an hour.
Not me. I got lost the last time I played Super Metroid. Like, super fucking lost.
So that's Metroid Dread on October 8th.